Trying to make your mark, then go deeper and make it scar.
Welcome back, episode 95 of Revisited, and because we were gone for a little while, either due to power or other bullshit, DA came into my room and was like, you know what, let's give them their f***ing mark month.
Immediately regretted it.
I do. When we were going through the videos that we could potentially do, it's just like, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no. This was a mistake. I ended up putting all the Mark videos that we could potentially do in a playlist.
Okay.
And it's, so for easy access, it's not good.
I don't think it would be. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is potentially the biggest mistake of the channel.
Dude. The biggest mistake of the channel was ever introducing months to begin with.
No, probably the biggest mistake of the channel was the channel itself.
Somewhat. We're talking about Dragon Ball Super BROLY, honest review by, of course, TotallyNotMark.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie. It is an okay origin story for BROLY. And then it is 45 minutes of action that I could care less about.
It's just the stuff that's happening, and it's just illogical. We keep talking about it, but the whole let's slowly ramp up to Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan God
for
Blue.
What purpose?
For what purpose? BROLY goes from in Tournament of Power base Vegeta level to Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta level in the space of like 5 minutes. And then that Super Saiyan Blue level Broly is fighting on par with a base Goku? It doesn't make sense. And then again, Goku seeing the what happened with Vegeta just starts to ramp up instead of just going, oh, Blue.
Now, I can understand the adage of, oh, you gotta warm up and stuff, but I don't know how much you need to warm up Ki to, because we've seen them instantly just, oh, it's transformation time. Yeah. It's just the highest transformation time.
I will not accept the you need to warm up thing.
Yeah, we got a description. Don't roll your eyes, dude. It's a not good movie. It's a very not good movie.
We'll talk about it, but man, it is. Dragon Ball Super BROLY has been a film that I wanted to review from top to bottom since its release. Now,
why didn't you?
And that always the question. It's like, I want to do this. So what's stopping you? We'll just do it.
The only thing I can think of is he released this as soon as like the DVDs and stuff came out, so you could use the footage as opposed to it's in theaters. I can't really talk about it, but I'm sure Mark can sit there and just stare at the camera and review a show.
Sure, but is that YouTube friendly?
People do that all the time.
Sure, but is it something that Mark would want to do? Because it's not necessarily his style to do that. He likes to have accompanying visuals with his stuff. So
I can understand that, but if you really want to do a thing and the only way to do it is in this style, or even just use the trailers, use some type of...
There's only so many times you can loop that.
People do that all the time, dude.
Now I think it's finally time for me to do that. Here's my latest addition to the Anatomy of Anime series, my honest review of Dragon Ball Super.
Why isn't it called Anatomy of Anime then? Is it honest review or is it Anatomy of Anime?
Why did I look at the comments?
Oh no. You know that's end game stuff. Oh, roll eyes. This isn't good.
Dude, this is a mistake. It's all just a mistake.
What was said?
No, it's just the comments. You know, the same comments as.
I love the Brolys.
They're so
Chile.
Everybody's so awesome and wow, so good.
Such good boy.
And here's what it is. When you've gotten nothing for so long, when you finally get something, it's like, look at it! It's in character! They jizzing over it!
It's a thimble of water in the desert.
That's all it is!
And you're like, well, this is just water, but for someone who has thirsted for so long, it's the elixir of life.
Man. It's just... Cause it's when you just got nothing, not nothing, but when you just got
So
the
little.
same, a character like Piccolo. Piccolo is Piccolo, and Piccolo has been Piccolo since
At least Frieza.
Frieza, yeah. And you know, you've got his little burst of a story, but that's been so long ago. You don't have that real just small burst of a story that's kind of emotional, that's got kind of brings other characters into it. You got that with Boo kind of, but Boo is just, oh, he's just a monster and he's cool now. There's no like real backstory. But when you finally just get the basis of storytelling, these muffs are just jizzing over it. And it's not like it's revolutionary, and it doesn't necessarily have to be revolutionary.
No, generic can be perfectly fine.
But this is just, it's Tarzan. And that's all it is. And people are like, oh man, he's so sad. He's such a nice guy, and he's just fighting and stuff. It's not the same character once the fighting starts.
Absolutely not. And I feel like, but it gives people that want either one, it satisfies both. And for the people that just want the action, the story is okay enough to muddle through.
Okay enough.
To muddle through until they get to the action. For the people that want the story is more than what they've gotten the vast majority of time. And the action is there to accentuate those characters. Everything in this is okay enough to get you through it.
And with years of just having something, when you get a little bit more, when you get a little more character, when you get a little more action, just go, oh, skeet.
It is a dash of salt on a chicken breast.
Just go, oh, now wait a minute, you can really taste that salt. It's that placebo effect of just like, here's your medicine. It's like, I can feel it working.
I feel
ripping
out the disease.
I can feel the cancer just leaving my body. Oh, thank you. In 2 pieces of lettuce.
All right, let's just get into it. Fun's over, y'all.
If you're like me, you've probably noticed that nostalgia is usually only skin deep. Once you peel away the immediate gratification...
No.
And does he realize this? And he just
First
wallows
off,
in it?
First off, nostalgia is not skin deep because something can be nostalgic to you and still be very good and a deep story. It's not just like, I'm trying to recapture the feelings of my past. It is, I think this is a good source of media absent of my feelings from 15, 20 years ago. Like The Lion King. I think The Lion King, I was just listening to that Confused Matthew, so of course Lion King's on my mind. Lion King is a good film absent of me watching it as a child.
But how many people see it as that?
What, that is just, I loved it as a child. There are definitely people like that.
It's people that are just, wow, this thing captured my childhood. We talked about that so much, where that's people's baseline, why I'm watching or why I'm engaging in this.
But that's the surface level stuff.
Yeah.
But he's saying like it's inherent. What was the exact words?
If you're like me, you've probably noticed that nostalgia is usually only skin deep.
Only skin deep. Like, I understand the usually in there, but I don't understand how it could be skin deep for the vast majority of people if they can. I feel like most people can look at something that they loved and go, this isn't as good as I remember. Even if they still love it. Even if they're still like, wow, this is great. It's not as great as I remember.
Sure, they're always going to get that. But
I'd say that's
but they're
more
still going to
than
be like, it's great. So
Once you peel away the immediate gratification of something warm and familiar, there's usually not much left beneath the surface. And despite my urge to do so, for the longest time I refused to review this film until I thought enough time had passed. I wanted to judge this story on its merits and not on my rose-tinted love for it and the franchise it represented.
So he didn't want to watch the movie, come out and go, oh my god, I loved it, blah, 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 blah. He wanted to give himself some time to dissect it and actually think on the thing.
I wanted to know if Akira Toriyama's third outing into the movie world was as great as I thought it was. I wanted to peel away...
Okay, so, like, do you go into all of Dragon Ball like that? Because if you
Absolutely not.
you can't, like, something like the Moral Arc review. He reviewed that fairly soon after that.
I don't think it was even complete when he was doing it.
So where's the line with that? Where's the time for digesting with that?
Now, people will have immediate feelings, but more often than not, I mean, the vast majority of time, it's not going to be a huge sweeping difference in what they thought in it. Like, if they gave it an 8, they're not going to suddenly give it a 4. They might give it a 9, they might give it a 7, 6, 10, whatever, up, down a little bit. I say it's the vast majority of time.
To say Doctor Strange.
No, like I said, vast majority of time. Like, how did you feel coming out of Black Panther? How much did your thoughts change on that given time?
Black Panther isn't fair because now I don't know if I can look at it.
Separate the...
Yeah.
All right, Captain Marvel. Immediate, just like, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
And you didn't go, oh wait, no, now that I've thought about it, it's an 8. No, it's still a 4.
It probably went down a little bit upon thinking.
See, so I don't understand this. I need time away from it. If anything, I feel like you should give your initial thoughts and then a proper review. But if you want to do something like that.
Even still, like, you're not separating the nostalgia stuff from Dragon Ball. Because when you see Goku, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, Goku.
Oh, it's Broly for the first time in like 20 years.
I understand collecting your thoughts, but the nostalgia thing, don't even bring that up. Because you can't separate your nostalgia from the Dragon Ball.
It's just like people saying be unbiased. You literally cannot separate your bias from what you're talking about. Because you're going to put your own experiences and thoughts into the product that you're reviewing, criticizing, analyzing, what have you.
Level nostalgia to see if there was something of substance within Toei Animation's greatest box office smash hit. Look,
there is substance in there, but it's not good enough.
Yes. It is there.
There is substance in Frieza. It is simply not good enough. There is substance in Dragon Ball Superhero. And that was the best stuff in there. And the action wasn't good enough.
There's a very, very good video about Avatar 2: The Way of Water. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about how the visuals and it carrying the story and stuff. And he said the story is what was the line? The line was great. I forget the line, but I love the line.
Do you know the creator?
Yes, I do. But it's like a 3-hour video.
I mean, people they consume us.
No, I'm talking about trying to find it. I linked it in the Discord. But yeah, it's something like a story. A decent story is necessary, but it's not sufficient. And this is what it is. This is a story. A story is necessary to tell what's going on with the sequential events, but it's not sufficient. It's not going above and beyond anything past than simply just being the story. And when you just get the story after all these years of here's Frieza, fight Frieza, and here's Super Saiyan God, and we never ever mentioned Super Saiyan God, and here's a whole in 12 universes and a whole new God and an angel and all these hierarchies and stuff. Here they are in the Namekian Book of Legends. When you get a little bit of pathos of him sitting down going, yeah, this in coat ear thing, and you go, oh, sad Broly punch shock collar.
It's different from, it's more than we've gotten from Broly in the past. Because Broly in the past was strictly, oh, he's just mad that Goku was crying, and that's essentially it.
Yes.
So they get some characterization of a character they already love. So they're like, oh my God. But the question is, why did you love that character before? Was it strictly just he's a big old wall and that's awesome?
Yes, big fight monster, awesome Panthera music just playing in the background as he's going, oh my God.
And it's just like...
Diddle, diddle, diddle.
Get into the story, the music, and the visuals.
I'm not going to listen to music. I'm not going to listen to music. This man has legitimately a whole video of music stuff. Keep it. No. It's the worst Mark.
Music Mark is the worst.
If he praises, go Broly, go, Mark month is over.
It wouldn't even begin, really.
This is unreleased and unreleasable.
I wanted to write an honest review for the 2018 film.
Okay.
Have you written dishonest reviews before?
That's exactly where I was going. I'm so tired of these. I'm being honest. As opposed to whom?
This is to be expected to be honest. It's like saying, I'm not a pedophile. It's like, yes, of course you're not.
I would hope not.
I should hope not. Is there anything other than that baseline of decency?
The only people that do not do honest reviews are shoddy journalists just trying to prop up a game because they were paid to do so, or the editor was just like, you can't give that an 8. It must have a 9. That type of thing.
Or people like Donkey, where he just goes, it's all a joke except for the true stuff, which is also a joke, unless it's
true.
Not funny, in which case that's the truth part, and that's also a joke.
Also, why did he use the Mexican logo for it?
Might be a funny joke.
Okay.
18 film, Dragon Ball Super, Broly. As I was...
Okay, what was the purpose of that? It wasn't like visually cohesive storytelling in what was just done. It felt like a lot of random clips of
One
different
part was
characters.
Just Vegeta eating a piece of fruit.
Growing up, I never really enjoyed the Dragon Ball.
Turn the music down, Mark.
It's fine.
Growing up, I never really enjoyed the Dragon Ball movies. I would always give them a shot, but they never captured my interest the same way the anime did. While trying to watch these films, I always thought that they were rushed, unearned versions of the anime's story in miniature. The visuals and action sequences looked really cool across the board, but the story seemed secondary, and because of that, it never really interested me.
Don't you think the story's secondary in Broly?
Yeah, it's kind of come to earth, point at him, fight. The whole marketing was just like three destined Saiyans colliding and stuff. It's like, well, they don't really have anything to do with each other.
In fact, I didn't end up seeing all of these to the end until TFS redid them decades later. That is, until Battle of Gods and Resurrection F changed everything. We now
Resurrection F is no different from something like Lord Slug!
It is devoid of story. Frieza comes back, they fight, it's over.
What is the difference between Resurrection F and Mecha Cooler? Legitimately, what's the difference there?
had standalone stories that worked as films. Battle of Gods was the first Dragon Ball film I enjoyed beginning to end, and Resurrection F was fun on first viewing at the very least, despite it being a less enjoyable film to me overall. And needless to...
the qualifiers to be less whatever. Again, what is the difference between that and the first Broly movie, the second Broly movie?
It is devoid of a story. What can you squeeze 3 sentences of a story out of Resurrection F? Don't tell me you can. What's the immoral? What's the theme? What is the story of Broly other than here he come fight him?
Oh yeah, also Broly.
Super's anime over and a new film slated on the horizon, I was more than excited. Then it was announced to be a Broly movie, which had a lot of folks like myself worried. A character like Broly taking center stage was nothing new to the Dragon Ball films, and to be perfectly honest, I saw him always as a condensed version of everything I hated about those old Dragon Ball films. All appearance, no substance. But primarily what made...
What's the difference between Frieza?
He has a personality. He's snooty. He's hoity-toity.
Okay, so you're telling me that Broly is a BoJack? BoJack has a personality. Android 13 has a personality. Mm-hmm. I can't think of many people that don't except Broly.
Broly did have a person. He was very rah-ha-ha-ha. You think you could... Like the Kamehameha, and he just walks through it. That was something.
Janemba
definitely just boo. Boo and kid boo. Harudegan.
I mean, but that was more about the story of Tapion than...
And then it's just like, oh, he got the sword. But wait, that doesn't make any sense. Nobody got it, though. But again, here he goes. His issues with all Flash, no substance. But he finally got something more.
Yep, and you said that in the beginning. This is more than what I got from the movies before. And because of that, it is amazeballs. The first two are great. Frieza is not great. No, I'm sorry.
It wasn't fun on the first watching for us, personally, in our opinion. Overall. Because again, it's just fighting once you get to it. And it's not particularly great fighting because it's the first time that we're seeing a Super Saiyan Blue. What does it do? Oh, it's just stronger, faster, blah, blah, blah. The same stuff over and over again. So now we're just watching.
Little to no ceremony.
Here it is. Bam. Pop it. And we're just watching them fight. And it's the same. Goku's not fighting any differently. No more animalistic. No more calm. Nothing. It's just Goku punching and kicking. Same thing with Vegeta. So it's just more stronger.
No substance. But primarily what made me anxious and many others was the prospect of making a character like Broly canon. However, soon after, much of the negative hearsay surrounding the film vanished as Toriyama made a formal announcement reassuring us all that he was rewriting Broly's character as well as handling the film script personally. Additionally,
why would that make people more comfortable? That would feel
because they think even more Toriyama is a genius.
Yes, I know.
The bad stuff is the stuff that's San Toriyama.
That's the Toei stuff. The Bardock going into the past and becoming a Super Saiyan, fighting Chilled. That's the bad stuff. But the good stuff is in the hands of Toriyama now. So it's just like, hey, don't worry, you guys. What did people think about Broly? Did they just go to make them worried about this new stuff? Because if it's just like, we're going to get more of this Broly, it's like, yay. Or did you
if you're a fan of Broly, why would you go, oh, I'm worried for new Broly being canon?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It would have to be a consensus of, yo, this Broly suck. I understand Mark has his own perspective of, I didn't like the movie because all Flash, no substance.
Yeah.
But Broly is big bumped. And it's worthless to pretend like he isn't.
Yeah,
I loved him.
I don't hear people singing the praises of Lord Slug.
Yeah, something like that. It's like Lord Slug is just there.
Of the movie villains, Broly is by far number one. Number two might be Cooler, might be Garlic Jr.
I'm going Cooler. But like, Turles? Who's talking about Turles? Lord Slug, Harudegan,
Bojack,
Android 13, Bojack. I think that's it. For Garlic Jr.
Yeah.
3 interesting and impressive trailers dropped, demonstrating some incredible visuals with the promise of an interesting origin story.
How is it the promise of an interesting origin story? Because all you're seeing is it, and you may not have interest in what you saw.
No, but they said the 3 Saiyans finally collide.
That's not interesting to me.
Yes, it is. Finally.
Oh, cool. I guess it just is.
Hang on, I want to see what, because I remember the words just flashing up. Oh my goodness, they're flying, whatever. A new Saiyan nobody knows about. Oh, look, there's Berry Blue or whatever, whom nobody knows about. See, crap like that, it gets you hyped. Vegeta versus Broly, Frieza versus Broly, Goku versus Broly. The Saiyan warrior race. What do you see? What do you see? Beyond that strength. Ew!
What do you see beyond that strength? Okay.
So yeah, that's what it's just like. Oh man, Broly, great.
Whatever.
3 Saiyans, directed by fate.
It's literally Frieza bringing them to Earth.
Here you go. What connection?
He dropped him off at daycare.
What connection does Goku have to Broly and vice versa? and uncontrolled. Shut up.
Live up to that promise. The beginning of this film is extremely efficient, streamlined, and
Oh my god, already? What are we doing?
We're done here. We're done here.
I don't toot my own horn a lot.
I love it.
It is probably my favorite line I've ever spoke.
It's so good.
That's what I want out of my manga. Efficiency. I don't care about the efficiency.
Yeah, I can't
of
argue
the
against it
story.
because I don't know what he means by efficiency. So I hope that he explains exactly what he means. You know how many comments I've got about my keyboard at work?
What do you mean?
People love it.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
I got that keyboard.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
People love it.
Because it's silent and it's the mechanical stuff and it's cheap.
And it's got the little pulsing rainbow as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun as well. So
You were the one that said no rainbow.
yeah, I know.
They were just like, you can have rainbow.
Yeah.
And you rainbowed it up. Huh?
Yeah, cool. Great.
Yeah, I fucking love this keyboard, dude. When my other one broke, I think I had dropped it or something, and it kept holding the key even when I took the key off. I instantly went, let me rebuy it.
Oh yeah.
surprisingly accessible for the 20th film in a franchise that spans decades.
Go back. He didn't explain efficiency.
The beginning of this film is extremely efficient, streamlined, and surprisingly accessible for the 20th film in a franchise.
Okay, so we're back to accessibility now. Why is it surprisingly accessible?
He said efficient, streamlined,
Surely those are
and
synonyms.
accessible.
Surely they're the same word.
Franchise that spans decades. And while there are tons of tiny nods to past events, technologies, and lore for the longtime fans to enjoy, the film takes specific care in establishing the key players and motivations of the film being told.
Okay, go back. Go back.
To what?
To the whole thing.
Really?
Story, but did it live up to that promise? The beginning of this film is extremely efficient, streamlined, and surprisingly accessible for the 20th film in a franchise that spans decades. And while there are tons of tiny nods to past events,
Tiny nods to past events. What? What in this says a tiny nod to a past event? What past event, if this is in the beginning of the timeline as far as we see in the Goku story?
Oh, you know the past events.
Probably something with...
From the older Bardocs, we get to see some stuff that we recognize from that. From the first Broly movie, like Call Me Kakarot, even though that makes zero sense now.
Did we see his crew?
I don't think so.
technologies, and lore.
Technologies! He rocked up and said, here are scouters! From where did they come? Who made them? What's the...
invented.
How? Don't just be like, here they are. Oh, that's where they came from.
I recognize.
It's literally, oh, that's where they came from. He just was like, here. Is that enough to be like, oh, the rich lore?
For longtime fans to enjoy, the film takes specific care in establishing the key players and motivations of the film being told.
But it also hurts what we've known before in that Saiyan parents don't really care for their children.
Yes.
But now we have Saiyans that objectively care for their children.
3 of them. The only 3 Saiyan parents that we see, they all care about their child in one way or another. When it's said to be an anomaly. So you can't be like, oh, this is weird, and then have the 3-month just do it.
With a flashback 41 years in the past, we are greeted with shots of the Frieza Force in its heyday. The Ginyu, Zarbon, Dodoria, King Cold, and a young Frieza are all present. Taking
Yay!
Look, the Ginyus are doing the pose. So,
we know them.
I guess they're all just functionally immortal. If they are some 30 years in the past, looking the exact same.
Yeah.
The Ginyu Force, in Zarbon and Dodoria look no different. So, we're just fine with this? They're just alien races. Hey, Raccoon looks literally like a human, but he's not though. Is he any different than a human? At least these muffs got tails. It's dumb, and it's just dumb fan service. They rock up and do their pose, and the camera pans over to him, and that's it. He doesn't need them.
Do Saiyans get gray hair?
That guy got gray hair.
No, I don't know if that's his actual hair color.
Paragus did get gray.
Okay, so when does this happen for them?
Once they get out of their battle prime.
Their biology does not seem like it would be the same because it's like cells breaking down and stuff. Like lines on your head and stuff, which we see here. Why do they have these things? Because it feels like their body should just snap back to their prime as much as possible. These are questions that do not need to be answered.
It doesn't matter. They just look young until they don't. Please clap. Beards, huh? What? I guess they can grow beards now.
They always could. My mustache.
And that was in the future. And I guess they were just shaving. I guess Goku learned to shave
At
some point.
Are all present. Taking place in the Saiyan homeworld before its destruction, this is the first look we get at the Society of the Saiyans written by Akira Toriyama in anime.
And what is it? It is just a look. Oh, here it is.
It's
What
no
do we
different
learn?
than like royalty we see out and about in these tyrannical type of stories where, the soldiers are standing at attention and guard leading up to the king. What is different from that in Game of Thrones?
It'd be something if it was just like Battle of the Strongest. Anybody can just rock up to your house and just steal your meat and you just gotta fight them off. There are no laws or crimes or anything. You just gotta live by the rules of, I'm not gonna steal anybody because I want my stolen, but I am strong and I could if I wanted to.
Anybody being dishonorable is banished to take over a planet.
Dishonorable, yes. Something other than just
Since saying pride is a thing, you are stealing food without the right to do so through battle.
You did not earn this. You're just trying to steal it. Is dishonorable. I hate to bring up One Piece, but in Water 7, Aqua Laguna comes and we just build up higher and higher. Candy walls and people eat them to dismantle them. Stuff like that.
And it's honestly terrific.
It's honestly terrific. There's nothing going on here that's special. There's nothing going on here that's praiseworthy. It is just happening.
And that's enough that we get to see, oh look, Goku's mama, who has a quarter of a personality, is chopping meat.
Tremendous sense of scale and awe as King Cole's army arrives on planet Vegeta.
It's a big planet.
With big ships are coming.
Single most important moment of the Saiyans' history up until this point, and we feel that in the dialogue that's delivered, the spectacular angles on display, and the
angles! Look at the angle! Look! It's spectacular, isn't it? I can't be expected to praise something when you just say the spectacular angles. I can't be expected to go along with you when I don't know what the
I can't argue for or against it.
I honestly cannot.
I wish he would just show some of the angles he's talking about.
Unless he's
the
talking
dynamic
about
angle.
Unless he's just talking about a low angle showing that he's now lost his power and he's looking up to somebody as we are looking up to him or whatever.
That's like praising when in Naruto where the guards were walking or whatever and there's that super close up like fisheye lens effect on them. That's not praiseworthy to me. You're just doing something different with a camera perspective.
Expressions.
There's a
he said the expressions.
There's a video where Ryan Johnson breaks down the one of the opening scenes of Glass Onion, and he's like, we're purposely framing it so your eye is always drawn here. These two people are separated. This person in the foreground, background. That type of stuff informs of what they're talking about when they're talking about visual representation, visual keys, and that type of stuff. Visual cues, not the angles. Just saying the angles.
Something like Naruto, when you first saw Sasuke again. Sasuke is really, really high up, and there's a big gap between them, and Naruto's low down. And you'd be like, oh, that's a big power gap. That's the distance between them. There's a lot to be said about that shot.
They're at the Valley of the End, and Sasuke's always trying to be on top. But there are times where they're parallel to each other, which speaks to the bridging of the gap and them being on a more even footing.
You can speak to that, not just go interesting angles. Off the top of our head with a series that we don't like. Come on, Mark. Come on.
We are 3 minutes into this.
What?
We are 3 minutes into this. This was a mistake.
Interesting angles
and expressions.
Wow. Man, can't get in analysis like this from anywhere else.
Angles on display and the expressions of the people. It's the perfect place to start.
Fear, gloating, glee. What dynamic expression.
And that's the thing, when you don't edit something yourself, and I'm not saying that Mark should edit it, or he's expected to, or it's bad that he hired an editor, but the editor just has to interpret what Mark means. Mark knows what he means by when he goes interesting angles, but home editor man don't know what he means, so he just have to go, I'll just pick a shot of King Vegeta looking up.
It would make a lot of sense if Mark applied notes to his scripts. Where he goes, I'm talking about the shot at this time.
We don't know if he does or he doesn't, but it doesn't seem like he does.
No.
It's the event that triggers every major...
Or he could just say what he means so that we, the audience, may share in his reverie.
Like during this scene... You can see how the angle is blah, 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 blah.
Choice that drives this story forward from here on in. Immediately, it's instantly recognizable that the visuals have underwent a significant upgrade. From the wobbly outlines, vibrant colors, lighting, and nostalgic character designs, it's
literally the same character design. Zarbon never changed his armor or his cape.
Didn't you just say you were trying to get away from the nostalgia? But now all the nostalgic designs, my heart.
Look, it's Dodoria. What more can you say about him? What joy does Dodoria being here bring other than a passing, oh, look at that.
I know that guy.
Hey, it's Dodoria.
We're just gonna clap when we see Kui?
This film feels and looks more like Dragon Ball than anything that's been released.
This looks 0% like Dragon Ball.
That lighting is not very Dragon Ball. It is. They don't use like harsh, like red lighting like that. It's very like pastel is the word, and it's normally just like normal colors. But this is a very foreboding color scheme.
Anything that's been released in the last 10 years at least. Bringing characters closer to how the original artist envisioned them, enhancing their expressions and
enhancing their expressions of what?
Expressions.
Frieza had the same expression in Namek! What are we doing?
Show me an image of Frieza where it doesn't look closer to the original artist. Don't just say
you know why it looks? Because he's in his original form. Because every time past that, it's been Frieza in his final form.
This video is going to be Mark Month.
cut up into 9 bits.
It's gonna take that long because this bastard ain't saying nothing, and I just want to leave. I think we just got to do this in 40-minute chunks. Because otherwise, it's just like,
hey, at least Music Mark is gonna be a quick in and out because we're not gonna have to say about.
And personalities through exaggerated movements and close-ups. It's honestly a feast for the eyes that you can only fully appreciate when watching it for yourself. The first scene acts as a passing of the torch and a coronation of sorts for Frieza as he accepts his father's position as the leader of his forces, immediately setting a ruthless and sinister tone, effortlessly brushing aside the Saiyans' plans to stop him with a simple tech demonstration. Humiliated and frustrated, we follow King Vegeta as he visits his son.
Oh, it's just time for synopsis now.
oh, do we ever leave? I don't think we've ever.
Hey, that time's gonna go fast though.
So are people happy to get the origins of how Frieza?
Yes.
Okay. So are they wanting to know how King Cold became the leader of?
No.
So they're just happy with we finally got an answer.
Yes.
But that answer just. It's essentially just shifting the question. Hey, how did Frieza get in charge of the Saiyans? Oh, King Cold gave them to him. But how did King Cold? That's all that happened here. So are you really happy with such an answer?
And wasn't it said that these people aren't named Vegeta? King Cold just names whoever's the king Vegeta.
I think it was something like that. I can't remember.
So again, how did this King Vegeta get into power if he's not born into it from the previous king? If he's just named a king,
don't you remember where Mark was talking about? We finally get to see them with their rich or whatever adjective he used.
You clearly don't remember.
No, that was an hour ago. And whatever in time portal that Mark videos create.
In the nursery, with the hopes that he one day will carry out his revenge on Frieza.
And he don't.
Based upon what? Why would Vegeta believe that?
Why would Vegeta care? King Vegeta, though.
Yeah, why would King Vegeta? What? But he is just.
Yeah,
Why would you believe that spawn of yourself, who you are? Let's be generous and say 12,000 will ever come to reach Frieza, who in his first form was 500,000. What makes you think that your child could do that?
There's never, as far as y'all know, in legendary Super Saiyan, whatever, it's a rumor, it's a legend, whatever.
He doesn't even know what a Super Saiyan looks like.
Y'all have never, as far as we know, had a person reach 6 digits of power level.
What's the precedent to be like, this is the kid that's gonna avenge all?
Now I can
Saiyans?
understand you're just putting your hope into a future that might be better for the Saiyans, and your child might bring it about. But if that's the case, why are you shoving Broly off world instead of fostering him to take it back over?
Nah, because it gotta be my kid though. Those two people, those two Saiyans, I guess the original canon of Dragon Ball, where Raditz said it was just me, them two muff, and you that came off. Oh, and also Vegeta's brother. Oh, and also these two guys. I guess the original canon, manga, anime, games, all that. Let's just add these two mooks. No name for no reason. Now, there's no way he could have known about Broly. That's fine. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
But he's looking at these two bastards. He asked about Vegeta's
He could have
brother.
just said others got off world, but the only ones still standing are...
Easy. Not Vegeta. Dodoria hunted them down and killed them all.
Which would help Vegeta with his revenge against Dodoria, because he would get Kui, Dodoria, then he moves up to Zarbon, and finally Frieza.
Because he doesn't really have any kind of beef against them other than...
You're a wall of Frieza.
Yeah, you're just a level of Frieza soldier that I just need to kill. If they had personally wronged him in some sort of way, that'd be one thing. But these are just these dudes, Dodoria and Zarbon and Vegeta. It's like, what relationship do they have? Have they had a conversation outside of Namek that we've seen?
With a father impressing motivations like this, it's easy to see
I'm sorry, what?
one day will carry out his revenge on Frieza. With a father impressing motivations like this, it's easy to see how Vegeta's childhood made him the man he is today. However, this isn't...
He was like 9 when Vegeta blew up. And you can't just be like, oh man, this is how he became that Vegeta, when he literally is just being beaten by Queen, who is just some guy. He knows about the Ginyu Force and them being elite monsters.
He was feared when he learned they were coming to Namek.
So he can't have this big high hoity-toity attitude and be like, okay, so then there's Kui, okay, then there's Dodoria, then there's Zarbon, then there's all, let's say 4 of the members of the Ginyu Force. Let's not include Guldo. Then we got Frieza.
We're talking 8, 9 levels removed of being the strongest.
Then we got King Cold, who he has to know about.
Yep.
Then we've got whoever the King Cold forces are, because surely he has an elite force like the Ginyu Force, and he's still the high and mighty Mwahaha in 24,000 power level. It doesn't make sense.
This scene. It's Broly's. Revealed as a lower-class warrior with an exceptionally high battle potential, the exposition Broly receives is incredibly natural and believable as the doctors try to justify his placement in this particular nursery to the king. All the while, he struggles to accept the fact that his son might not be the best choice to overthrow Frieza. And this is the...
So, he'd rather potentially doom his planet and his people
Petty.
than allow somebody else to take down Frieza.
Yep. Yeah.
And this is a positive.
And we know...
At least if we got more of this super pridefulness, we
That's
could
what
go.
I was just about to say. But this is about all that we've got of him just being baby mode. No, but my son. What about your entire race? What about your life? What about anything other than this petty bush?
Is this your king?
film's strength. The motivations established in these early scenes drive and inform the subsequent ones in natural and believable ways.
Pause.
What is unnatural? What is unbelievable ways?
A story has through lines that inform future events.
Clap.
Please clap. Things don't just happen, y'all. It's not like in Cooler comes down and fuses with Frieza. Things happen because of other things that happened before. Yes, Mark. They do. What? What is basic storytelling?
It's really not hard.
I'm not praising events happening due to earlier events.
Now, he's saying that this all feels natural, but it doesn't, because we don't know who King Vegeta is in terms of his pride and his love or dislove for his people. Mm-hmm. So how is this natural when we're just now learning about it and it's so in your face, so loud with it?
When Gine just goes, Saiyans don't love their children, but you do, Bardock. Yes, I do. How natural.
King Vegeta is threatened by Broly upstaging his son and being a danger to the Saiyan race. Therefore, he is exiled.
Danger to the Saiyan race more than Frieza.
In more than Frieza. Okay.
Ultimately to a remote planetoid called Vampa. Broly's father Paragus naturally takes issue with this and immediately flees after his son to save him, breeding a lifelong grudge that ultimately becomes the driving force for all the conflict in the second half of this film. The visuals of Broly landing on Vampa...
Except for Goku, whom has no
Stakes at all.
It's just Frieza going, it's them, punch them.
Of this film. The visuals of Broly landing on Vampa act as a small OP for the film. Stunning visuals, lighting, color, and music, concluding with the single best title drop I've ever seen in a Dragon Ball film. There's just something so satisfying about it. We are only...
It's something so satisfying about it. Can't explain it.
Sure.
10 minutes into the film and we have already established all of this. This is honestly excellent.
All of what? He said expert something. But we've established what? Vegeta's a petty bit.
King Vegeta's a petty bit.
Bardock loves his kid and hucks Goku to Earth. Gine is Toriyama woman. And Paragus is just like, no, but my kid though. We see glimpses of a Planet Vegeta.
There are 5 events that could essentially take 2 minutes per event. And you're going, this is masterful. The Frieza soldiers landing on the planet. Let's call that 3 minutes. Gine and Bardock. Let's call that a minute. The scene with Broly. Let's call that 2 minutes. Talking to his father. Let's call that 2 minutes. And then them leaving. Let's call that 2 minutes. 120 seconds to tell 5 different things is not some type of masterclass thing.
Especially when they just go, once Goku's off the planet, it just goes, yeah, yada yada. You know what happens to Broly. I mean Bardock, big finger, planet go boom. You know that. How is that masterful? That's relying on past knowledge.
Yeah, this is supposed to be accessible.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what happened to that guy?
All of this. This is honestly excellent pacing. In traveling to...
Why is it excellent pacing? Because a lot of things happen very quickly. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be excellent pacing if we got more time with these characters? Would the pacing be hurt by that if it was slightly slower? Mm-hmm. If instead of 10 minutes, it took 14 minutes. And we got to see the lead up to Vegeta being so prideful about his son, which would further inform why Vegeta is prideful.
Maybe we see Vegeta and he's just like, yeah, my son. And then it's just like, yeah, I'm going to have another son to be even more strong. And then Turles or what?
My children are meant to be the strongest.
I forget Vegeta's brother. And his brother's a failure. So now he's just like doubling his efforts with Vegeta himself. Mm-hmm. And that's where the obsession becomes.
And that's when they learn about Broly and go, oh, no.
Vampa, Paragus commandeers a ship
he can't handle 2 failures of a son.
piloted by another Saiyan called Beats that regrettably gets wrapped up in all of this. However, once they find Broly, they realize that the escape pod they used to get to planet Vampa was irreversibly damaged in the crash, removing all options of leaving the planet thereafter. Once Paragus discovers that there's no way out, he immediately removes Beats from the equation to save food. As cold-heartedly as you can imagine.
These are things that happened in the movie.
And then they survived another 30 years.
Eating goo and never having drinking water. This makes perfect sense when we know that Saiyans are big eaters who gain strength from eating. This makes perfect sense. What masterful pacing. Stories.
This isn't like a boat where there's nothing out anywhere. There's nothing but ocean. And your supplies are limited. And you've got 4 people on the boat. And they keep shrinking. And then you got to make a tough decision of people either us getting 8 less days or someone dying. They didn't even scour the planet for food.
It was just like, all right, this is what it is.
A laser straight through the Saiyan's chest. This is where we leave Broly's story for the time being and move some years into the future, where we find the first controversial section of the film. The following 10 minutes cover the events derived from a one-shot manga written and illustrated by Akira Toriyama called Dragon Ball Minus. When screenshots from trailers suspiciously similar to Minus surfaced online, a wave of worry swelled across the fan base that was palpable. But to be perfect,
I am glad I am not in these communities.
And this is the second time that that the fandom has been worried about this movie. Don't you think it's a problem when you're just like, oh my goodness, a character is coming, be worried? Shouldn't you be like, let's have faith in this Because they know what they're doing. Oh man, he's writing Broly. Let's have faith in this. Oh, but he wrote this Bardock. It sucks. So why did you have faith in Broly if Dragon Ball Minus is not this lauded thing? Dragon Ball Minus is not a very good thing in the eyes of fans. Made by Toriyama, but Toriyama's taking over Broly, so this is gonna be good now. Where's the correlation there? Toriyama can't be both this genius auteur who can make characters like nobody's business, but also made this sucky Bardock over here.
I mean, this is the guy that made the Buu Saga. Like, why do y'all think he's not irreproachable, beyond reproach, above reproach? Like, he has done before.
He ain't got it no more.
So him going, I'm gonna write it, should not alleviate your worries in the slightest because you've seen what he's created.
Especially after all this time of not creating, not being engrossed in the Dragon Ball world to the point where he thought that Android 18 had purple hair and he couldn't turn his head to a poster of 18. Or Google it. He just went, nah, I know what I'm talking about. And he literally didn't.
Trunks' hair changes in the future for some reason.
Cool. It just does. Shut up. Super Saiyan, what now? 3? 2? What? Whatever.
The blonde-haired one.
Honest, it plays out much better than I first expected it to, at least. With that said, there are some negative takeaways from this section, the most glaring of which being Goku's true origin. While it works incredibly well within this film and significantly better than in Minus's comic, it's still difficult not—
Why does it work well in this movie?
It's still difficult not to draw parallels between that and Superman.
It's impossible not to.
But then you're not gonna allow yourself to draw parallels to other things in Dragon Ball. Getting sent off. I feel like there was something where somebody was banished and then came back for revenge to a different planet. But space crap. Mm-hmm. It's probably a comic I read at some point.
see the Superman parallels once you first notice it.
Okay. Who should care? Take the story as it is and read it and enjoy it, or don't. Because these are different characters. The motivations behind them are different. There's all these different things than just going...
It's incredibly lazy.
Oh, absolutely. But Toriyama is not anything if not incredibly lazy.
I hate his new armor as well. I think it looks very lame.
Made considerable efforts to integrate new elements of the Dragon Ball story into the classic canon, succeeding fantastically in some cases while not so much in others. For everything else in the scene, it works exceptionally well. Even instances in the Minus comic that I disliked, like Bardock's suspicion of Frieza, made much more sense here than it did in the manga, giving legitimate, believable grounds for him to suspect something of Frieza, rather than him just having an unexplained feeling.
Why did you explain exactly what happened there? And then now it's just like, you should have watched the movie to understand what I'm saying.
It makes more sense here than in the manga. What happened here?
What happened in the manga?
Additionally, this is one of the first scenes that works substantially better having prior knowledge of the series. After being introduced to the Elite Saiyan nursery that housed Vegeta and...
Okay, he's gonna explain it.
Broly, Goku's situation is far more modest.
He's not gonna explain it.
The subtitle for Mark Month.
He's gonna explain it. ... He's not gonna explain it.
Surprise! Wait a second. Mayhaps he should cook. Oh wait, no.
It's burning.
No, he's ordering DoorDash. Oh. Never mind.
There's something heartwarming and special about it, kept locked away.
Heartwarming and special? It's two people that are in a relationship.
What is this incubating goo? Don't just say, look at this, where this month got a whole high-tech thing. What happened here? Did she just pop out Goku and just went, put him in the goo? What is this? What is heartwarming
Oh
about
no,
them
wasn't he
looking
a
at
natural
them?
birth or something?
You are thinking of Man of Steel, sir.
Wow, I guess I can't separate
What
the
are
Superman.
you doing?
I guess I can't
You
separate
are
the
falling up. What the?
Jesus Christ. Did I truly don't understand the purpose of the goo? Like, does it nourish them?
For what purpose? That food could not. Now I could see. Now that I'd be like, I was thinking like, you put them in there at night so they don't rampage as a monkey.
That would make sense.
But this is daytime, so
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
And I feel like the moon was destroyed around them.
It would have to be, otherwise it's just like curfews at 7:00.
Yeah, I don't think a Frieza would allow the moon to be king cold and just let them monkey out.
But we talked about this, and it's just all moons, I guess. That's just it all
the
offers
waves
the
are just-
same waves and the same rays and stuff like that. They're all equal moons. Hey, what happens if they're flying through when in their shuttle and they go past a moon? Well, I guess good thing that their eyes are closed, because they would just monkey out there. Or maybe it's the atmosphere combined
No, they have to
with
see the moon. Why?
They do. Because Gohan was just standing there in the moonlight. And
Until
then
he looked up.
at the moon. What is it that causes the transformation?
Because Vegeta said it's the same rays that the moon gives off that allows them to transform, because your father built this thing, created this
That
thing.
is a Dragon Ball dub mistake, sir.
Whatever. Still, the rays of the moon or whatever.
Oh man, how do I do this without my search history? I was about to look up Vegeta Ball. Vegeta Monkey Ball?
How about you use a private web browser? Because I do that all the time. I do not have time for my search history to be up.
Great Ape. So I want to see what it says
Vegeta
about
Energy Ball.
about the thing that was only used, let's not forget, one time.
In history.
Vegeta's Galagun, Furious, Monkey, Moon. Unfortunately, he reveals that he can create a power ball to stimulate the moon's the full moon's light. So I'm gonna look up Vegeta Power Ball. It's getting worse and worse.
I wanted to get away from this.
This is not what I wanted. There we go.
The
Full
wrong
Wikipedia.
direction.
I get okay. So the users are King Vegeta, Turles, unnamed Saiyan, citation needed, Cumber, Bardock, Goku, Gohan. Oh, this has to be heroes. What the f is this? Dragon Ball heroes. It's worthless. By combining Ki with the planet's atmosphere, a sphere of condensed blunt waves is created. Citation needed. Using this, a Saiyan can achieve the Great Ape transformation even when a full moon or similar planetary body is not present.
So it's the waves that come off of it, so why do they need to look at it?
However, using this technique is apparently very tiring.
Is it?
So it can only be used as a last result for the transform.
Is that why
The power ball disappears after 90 minutes. Citation needed. Daizenshu number 4.
Is that why Vegeta was able to take out Monkey Gohan? Because him was so tired?
This is poop. This is not a factual thing.
So again,
Toriyama does.
why do they need to look at it? Because we have two instances of Gohan needed to look at it. When he transformed, when he was training with Piccolo, wow, that moon is very beautiful. And Goku go and turn over Gohan and look up at that ball.
And also Goku being trapped and just looking up at the moon. Conditions for transformation. In order for a transformation to take place, the Saiyan needs to have a tail, as the biochemical glands responsible for initiating the transformation are located exclusively there. Citation needed.
If you lose half your tail, what happens?
The Saiyan also needs to... This is fake.
This is fake!
I refuse to read this. A Saiyan also needs to absorb at least 17 Xeno units of Blunt's wave through their retina to initiate the transformation. Blunt waves are only found in sunlight reflected by the moon. If there is no moon, a planetary body will reflect the same number of rays and initiate the transformation. This is infuriating.
Why do the eyes convert the Blunt's waves into the biochemical release for the transformation? Like, what is it? I guess the light itself? The way because all vision is just light refracting off your eyes, so I guess the light going through your eyes is what stimulates the transformation.
So the that 17 million Zenos of Blunt's wave they needed. The citation, I finally found it. It's to a fan site. People don't think about this, and admittedly, we have not thought about this.
There was never ever a reason.
There was never a reason to until the second that you have to, and just go, "Oh, this makes no sense. Oh, this is stupid. This is horrible."
And then you look it up and you try to find the information and go, "No, it's still stupid."
Oh, no, it's even worse, as a matter of fact, because these people write down in the Wikipedia, in fan theories, headcanon, and just go, "Well, you need 17 million." Zenos of Blunt's wave.
Units of Zeno units.
This is a fact, right, you guys? This is all.
It's the fact as we know.
Disprove it.
The triggered school.
It's up to you to disprove my claim. What?
Capsule at the back of their house. No one, not even his parents, knowing what he will do with his life. Moments like that, accompanied by the stunning visuals and breathtaking, heartbreaking scores, lift.
This is the second time he said visuals and music.
Is it any less true this time?
It's
not.
Mark
is really, really not good.
No.
And he needs...
I think he has poor media literacy. Either he has poor media literacy or he has...
Or maybe poor media comprehension. Because he knows that this is good music and good visuals, but he can't really express the reasons why.
Then I wouldn't bring them up.
I think that he would benefit from something like a Because Reasons, where he sits down and just talks about it and then structures it. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure we can bang out like a problems with Naruto based upon our Naruto Because Reasons.
Yeah.
Just taking out bits and pieces.
I've legitimately thought about just taking our Because Reasons on Demon Slayer and just putting a proper script to the issues we had. Because a lot of people still ask us, what are your issues with Demon Slayer? I've legitimately thought about just going to Because Reasons, listening back and going, all right, this, and then just writing a script based on it.
But it could be benefited by something like that. You could be like, man, the music was so ingrained in the visuals right here. And then you type that down and just go, what about the music and the visuals? Let me rewatch this. Oh yeah, there was a big swelling score as the thing was flying away, and it was just, you could see the back of them, because the shot isn't really about them, it's about Goku flying away, and that's a very powerful shot, because they're essentially watching their child go away, and we don't really see their reaction, and you could talk about it that way, other than just going stunning visuals and music.
It's meant to feel like a moment of triumph, but when you break it down, it's actually a sad moment of parents having to leave their child behind, but to give him a better chance at a good future.
It's horrible that we can BS something on a series that we don't like, in a movie that I honestly have not seen in about a year, when Mark loved this, and he can only say the visuals.
Why was Goku a wild child in Dragon Ball proper now?
Because all Saiyans are pieces of
but
by
Broly
birth.
wasn't. And you would think he would be even more so with his father raising him for the revenge that you're going to take on the Saiyans proper.
When you're strong, you don't have to showcase that strength. You can just be like, yeah, I'm strong, and you can just be chill about it.
Raditz said he was purposely sent to that planet to take it over, because that's what happens with weak children.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about with Broly.
So when you're strong, you don't have to... Okay, what constitutes what is the line of strength to where you're wild child versus you can be a person?
When do you get out of the wild child? Because we see 9-year-old Vegeta. Maybe King Vegeta raised him as just like, you can't be like those other dumb monkey children. I could accept that.
When we saw the big wide shot of the Saiyans like working out in the village, did we see any children?
Are you insinuating that they eat children?
I mean, I'm not insinuating they don't eat children. Eat the weak.
We need the meat.
Breaking scores lift this section of the film higher than my wildest dreams ever expected.
It's pretty and it sounds nice, so my expectations were shattered.
I thought it was going to be a 6, but it was a 9.
Because it looked pretty and sound good.
Okay, Mark. All right. God bless you.
In a surprisingly touching scene, Goku is sent off the doomed planet by his parents. Frieza charges his...
Surprisingly touching. That was... We just talked about how he could have framed it, and his entire thing was surprisingly touching. So again, why was he a wild child? Why did Raditz say he was sent off the planet to take it over? As they are wont to do with Saiyan children. We've just given up on canon. Just given up on it.
It never mattered. Nothing matters.
It was never here.
Blast, Bardock's prediction comes to pass, and we're greeted by a montage of moments from Goku's life as both he and Vegeta fight into the present day. Easily missed in this quick flash of iconic moments is a...
Did you ever doubt him? It was always in the barrel. You got a gun pointed at you and then you get shot and you're just like, where did that bullet come from? Wait, guns? Hurdy? What?
This is not how it works.
Oh, you shot me.
You shot me?
Like, yeah, you know how guns work? What? Yeah, but...
I didn't know they worked like this.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could, like, shoot people. Me in particular.
I am loading up this gun, cocking it, and aiming it at you.
Yeah,
and
what
I
of
will
it?
pull the trigger.
What of it?
All right, I don't know where you're going with this, but...
Yeah, I don't know what this got to do with me, but...
iconic moments is a young Broly minding his own business, surviving, as both Goku and Vegeta get to experience their lives. This is a film about these three characters and how their fates have been, in some shape or form, connected.
You saw the words on the screen, Mark.
Yep.
We all saw the words, Mark.
That was in the trailer. Totally not Mark.
A large criticism people have thrown this film's way has been its exclusion of fan-favorite characters like Gohan and Piccolo.
How dare these mooks just ask for more of the same people they've seen a trillion times?
Hey, why can't Gohan just be here and do nothing?
That's a criticism of the film? Gohan not here?
Doing nothing. He would get one shot by Broly. What could he do? What purpose would he serve here? Unless you just want him to get strong and just wait for 4 years where you just get the biggest blowjob for Gohan.
Of these characters, I think the decision to keep the cast focused and uncluttered granted the film the breathing room it needed to flesh out this story. But
What would Gohan's inclusion have muddled the story?
Yeah, what focus? Where it's just like, dang, this 5 minutes of Gohan could have been spent with more fighting, mayhaps.
I mean, Gohan could have just arrived to fight. He could have been holding off Broly or something. I don't know.
it's not without its flaws, and I'll get to that. With that, we are almost 30 minutes into the story, and this is where I start seeing things that bothered me slightly. Small things admittedly, but they still exist. Essentially, to get all of these major players in the same area to fight one another, the Dragon Balls become involved. Frieza appoints men to steal them from Bulma's place, which they do with ease because plot needs to happen, and naturally, Goku and Vegeta are convenient.
Bulma has no... we've already said this with the security system. It's stupid.
It's dumb.
Not there.
You would think that she would have the best in the universe, but she just doesn't.
And naturally, Goku and Vegeta are conveniently not there to intervene. Additionally, and also conveniently, Bulma only gathered 6 Dragon Balls, which gives Goku and Vegeta a means of tracking them down before they find the last one. This, honestly, is all very contrived and is pretty weak storytelling. Thankfully, the means with...
And I'm glad that you recognize that. But you have to recognize that this is all just pretty weak. Where it's just, hey, here's this girl that just rocks up and it's just like, oh, they're together now. Because Broly is a sad boy. It's not really good storytelling of just like, oh, it's these two. Oh, and this old orange guy is here too.
Storytelling. Thankfully, the means with which Broly and Paragus are rescued from Vampa makes much more sense in the context of its story, characters, and themes. Chile...
Why are you surprised about the bullet, DA?
That was a boomerang bullet. I'm like, oh, look at this mom getting surprised over getting shot. And that mom just whizzes right to me. I'm like, hey, wait a second. This isn't wanted.
And Lemo, 2 new characters introduced for this story, are recruits within the Frieza Force tasked with locating strong power...
Tell me everything that you can about Lemo.
I couldn't tell you his name before you said it.
He just said it.
I did, dude. Legitimately couldn't have.
What color are his pants?
Brown?
I don't know if you're right or wrong.
signatures to recruit into the Frieza Force. Thus,
what color was his hat?
It's right there.
You piece of...
far, every scene concerning Broly has...
What color was his scouter?
Red? Green?
Concerning Broly has been this film's strongest aspect, as honestly it should be. He is the titular character after all. And thankfully, this praise train continues as he builds a wonderful relationship with Lemo and the wonderful Chile. And all these...
What wonderful relationship. Here, eat this. Oh.
I guess you're not eating nothing.
I'm dead. I'm dying. But what is the wonderful Don't just... He might explain it. ...
These scenes where Broly interacts with Frieza, his father, Chilai, and the crew of the ship are fantastic. Through the revelation of his past as well as his father's cruelty, we develop a deep sympathy for him and the situation he has grown up with. It's revealed that
I do not, because it's stupid. This is just a super strong planet with super strong beings that we've never heard of. And they're just strong enough at all times that Broly can train with them, eat them, kill them to get stronger. But they're never strong enough to kill him. That doesn't make sense for 41 years. You can't have it both be, this is a horrible, vicious planet, but they're always 100 more power level than Broly. So when Broly is 10,000, they're 10,100. When Broly is 20,000, they're 20,100. It don't make no sense. Either they're way, way stronger and they're killing him at all points, or they're way, way weaker and Broly shouldn't be this strong. Don't hand me this. It sucks. Come on now. Oh, this shock collar bullshit. No.
So Broly was a wild boy, but the shock collar put him in his place, huh?
I forgot about that.
I did too.
It's revealed that Broly has been controlled using a shock collar. This is an interesting idea that comes with some tragic visuals both from the act of shocking Broly himself and the expressions on his face once he sees the remote that turns the collar on. But what doesn't make sense to me is why he just doesn't take the collar off. I mean,
yeah. Might be symbolism of
Editor
being unable
son,
to
I don't give a about what you're saying.
It makes no sense. He was shown tugging at the collar. He could smash it with his pinky and his thumb. But he just doesn't. Because we need this. We need for Chilai to steal it and step on it to release him from his shackles. This needs to happen. And you said this was the section where it feels less contrived. And then you instantly just go, oh, this really sad thing about Broly and his past and stuff. But why doesn't he just like remove it? And why does it even hurt him if it's just electricity and he's going to be standing in magma not 10 minutes from now?
Yeah, this key shell on at that point, so he could do that.
Already in a calm state, has a power level in excess.
I was about to ask, why didn't Paragus get so much stronger? But I'm guessing it's just like he got an average amount of stronger, and Broly just got big stronger because he's a big freak.
In a calm state, has a power level in excess of 100,000 according to Chilai's scouter. So I think he can break some metal around his neck. Now that aspect of the
in a calm state of 100,000. So in an enraged state, he gets,
tens of millions.
In base Tournament of Power, Vegeta has to be in the billions. If not just, let's say 500 million. So his dumb Ozaru form and him being enraged gets him that much stronger.
From 100K.
From 100K. It doesn't make sense. And we just have to accept that he, within the span of less than an hour, gets an inconceivable amount stronger.
Did bother me quite a bit, especially when you consider that it's a vital part of what makes or breaks the film. But I digress.
No, you can't digress.
That's not a digression. It is part of the issue. It is part of the story.
Superman gets shot in the head by a regular bullet. That doesn't really make sense. And it kind of ends up the rest of the story. But I digress. It's like, no. That's a huge issue. That's a huge part of the control. That's the only part of the control that Paragus has over Broly. And for 41 years, he's done nothing about it when he could have, when he should have, but he didn't. Even accidentally, he should have, but he didn't. And we just have to accept that. We just have to accept those pools of, I'm guessing, acid or whatever corrosive goo that was. The water didn't break that down. Every now and again, he had to take it off to recalibrate it or make it stronger for his big, strong, and big, thick man neck. And he just was fine with him putting it back on. You have to think about these things.
No, it's a digression.
No, you don't.
You're
I
digressing.
digress moving on the entire point of this whole thing and this character and all this. It's fine.
Chile, though.
Auga.
What color was his hat?
Okay, it wasn't red because I would have thought about that with the scouter thing, and it wasn't green. I'm running out of colors. Orange would have clashed with his orange skin. I don't think it was white, but I'm not sure.
White.
So I'm left with black, yellow, pink, which it was not pink. He had black armor. I'm going black.
It was like a yellowish beige
Was
color.
it?
Yeah, it was like a beige color. Beige-ish brown color.
I don't think it was. Oh, that don't look right.
It's literally what it was.
So wait a second. I don't think that this happened.
Did he have any other color on his uniform?
He had green.
There we go.
Pause. What's his name?
Lemu?
Close. Limo.
Limo, okay. Bro, you could ask me this in 40 minutes and I will not remember. Dude, this should be like a postscript when we come back tomorrow and just go, all right, what was described, what names, we just go back and forth on details about them.
But we saw that with Dirty Boots, so we saw how well that went.
Oh, dude.
I do not know what this man's color pants. He has like these weird poop green pants. What is this man's color scheme?
His father's cruelty, Chile steals the remote Paragus uses to restrain his son, as both the forces of Frieza and Earth set themselves on a collision course. It's now
Where did she put that?
We'll go back and find out.
on a collision course.
Oh, it's just in her hand.
Both the forces of Frieza and Earth set themselves on a collision course.
Oh, yep, okay. Because it looked like she put it in her pocket. Was she noted to be like a world-class thief or something?
Sure.
It's now only a matter of time before all three main characters clash for the first time, fated for this meeting.
What informs the fated meeting of these characters?
The trailer.
This fight goes on for almost 40 minutes, and it's not only the best Dragon Ball has ever looked, but it's one of the most visually impressive sequences of animation I have ever seen.
Doesn't that go into how well it looks?
But it's also animation as a whole.
But what does the look come from?
Dragon Ball. The look is for Dragon Ball, but overall, in my opinion, for me, animation as a whole. We have said this multiple times. We do not care about animation for the most part. It can look prettyful, and it can look... It either needs to look so good or so bad, and even then, it's not going to bump it up more than like a 0.5 for me.
Yeah, and I don't care. So long as you convey what you're trying to convey. I talk about Air Master a lot. I love Air Master. The animation isn't the best, but the choreography is fantastic. There's moments where she'll get kicked and she'll spin, and then she'll use that momentum from that kick of that spin, and then kick the other person, and it's great. That's fantastic. A room with no walls, not no walls, no doors. Break down the inner wall. Do it! I need to watch that fight again. I love that fight.
Of course you do.
You just go ahead and play that. I'll just watch it.
The ridiculous amount of effort that went into this film, if it wasn't clear before, it most certainly should be now.
They had a lot of money and a lot of people working on it. Please clap.
It is to be lauded that something happened with this movie where it came out and it looks very pretty. Hooray. People were paid a job and they accomplished that job. Good
Very
for them.
well.
I do not care.
And while I'm sure many of you will be familiar with this fight, I'm going to try to break it down and maybe point out a few things here and there that you might have missed. The fight itself can be divided into 3 sections, with each section serving a particular purpose within the story. Broly versus Vegeta to kick things off, Broly versus Goku that takes up the middle section, and finally Gogeta versus Broly to end everything. And it just so happens that each of these 3 sections focuses on the unique strengths of each individual fight. For instance, a Vegeta fight is most entertaining when he is styling on his opponent and in control of the action. We don't often get to it.
That's where we're entertained.
I guess.
I'd rather just have a good back and forth fight.
Yes. I do not remember much of Imperfect versus Vegeta. Android 19 was a chapter where he just kind of beat up on them. What other ones were there?
Enjoy sequences like this, but when Vegeta receives the first punch from Broly and gives us that cheeky grin, we know what's coming and we know how good this is going to be. The Vegeta fight takes...
Dude, I cannot believe that people are clapping just because Vegeta's smiling. When this man has caught L after L, why should y'all ever believe that he's ever going to be a thing?
And then he just let this muff catch up to him and then just started getting mollywopped.
Takes up about 8 minutes of the overall fight's runtime, and Yuya Takahashi is in charge of this section, within which we get to enjoy the shock fall across the faces of both Broly and Paragus as Vegeta introduces the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God transformations to the fight.
When did he get those? When did he get that Super Saiyan God one?
And then they're shocked, but it's just so mundane to us audience.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's just Super Saiyan. The thing is that he has God. And you go, oh my goodness, it's God. This grants him further strength.
Less strength than the one we've already seen from him before.
So why did he go into this? Because the spectacle. Because he's doing it. Because we see him doing it. Because look, it's Vegeta as a god.
You see me doing it.
A classic.
God, are they handled beautifully.
I'm sorry, what?
You know what he said.
As Vegeta introduces the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan God transformations to the fight. And my God, are they handled beautifully. I specifically...
No, because I guess the transformation themselves are handled beautifully.
Love the Super Saiyan transformation as he begins to glow, refusing to let go of Broly's hand before being enveloped in a massive golden aura with the camera panning 360 degrees around his stance. It's beautiful.
I was just about to say, it's very pretty.
Dude, I can't. Look, the camera pans around him. It awesome. Big gold glow.
Yep. This is so good. It's Vegeta as a Super Saiyan. Okay. What of it?
With a bigger budget.
What of it? Is this special? Is this important? Is this signifying something in the battle? What is this? Oh, it's just him using a transformation that he's been using for some 15 years. This is one of Super Saiyan 2, God, Blue, Sparkly Blue. This is one of 5 transformations.
At the time, you could just say Sparkly Blue.
Yeah. Ozaru, we can't use Ozaru. But this is one of 5 transformations.
Why can't they grow their tails back?
Because adults can't grow their tails back. There was an interview with Toriyama where he said that
Stop interviewing that man.
He said that once a Saiyan reaches a certain threshold of power, the body no longer needs the tail, so it doesn't regrow.
Gohan was stronger than Goku.
Huh? What do you mean? Who's Gohan? He's not in this movie.
This fight, however, serves one important purpose, primarily. To bring Broly up to speed, both figuratively and literally with...
That's disgusting!
Yes, it is a purpose. It's just, this is why this is happening. Vegeta can't just punch his head off. No, Broly has to get stronger.
Vegeta can't just knock him out.
No, Broly has to get stronger. And thank goodness Broly can get stronger.
And he has the ability to do so.
In such a small amount of time.
What are they saying?
Win in history. Imagine if as lame as most of the Goku versus Frieza fight was, imagine if Goku was just like, oh, as I'm fighting you, I've gone from 3 million to 50 million. So it's only a matter of time that I'm going to catch up to you.
Of combat the main cast is on. Through breathtakingly beautiful tracking shots, Broly slowly gains the upper hand on Vegeta until he finally overpowers the Saiyan Prince before losing his mind. The fight from here quickly shifts focus to Goku and Broly. Again, the script clearly understands that Vegeta's most fun to watch when he's performing in a dominant fashion, and Goku is most interesting when he's on the back foot, and thus this transition...
I don't think it's interesting either way, depending on who's styling or who's on the back foot or whatever. Goku? I think a good fight is a good fight.
Yeah, but again, that would have to speak to the strengths of the characters fighting. And what is Vegeta's strength? Is it blasts? Is it more close combat? Is it kicks, punches, or what?
Stronger hits as opposed to like quicker jabs trying to open up the opponent.
But Goku versus Cell was fairly even. Goku versus the Boos were fairly even.
I feel like Vegeta versus Frieza is one of the better Vegeta fights because it's more personal as opposed to him styling on Frieza. Mm-hmm. It's just a slow realization of, no, I am just not strong enough for this.
Is the first half of pre-Super Saiyan, is that more entertaining than the Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza? Because he's on the back foot?
Because he had the upper hand at that point. I'd say no. Pre-Super Saiyan was way more entertaining. But that's because there was a lot more to the fight than just, I'm stronger than you, it's time to punch each other.
It's not about Goku being on the back foot. It's about, I have to use strategy of this.
But I feel like a lot of people love Vegeta versus Kid Buu, even though it's just Vegeta getting mollywopped because of what it meant. So I don't. Queen? You think the Doria is a good fight?
I don't remember much of that fight. I think he punched him in the stomach and blowed him up.
I think Zarbon was more interesting when Vegeta got beat. What's up?
Cameo.
Oh, wonderful.
I was thinking first I thought Cammy. I'm like, does he care about Cammy? Then he said Cameo. I was like, what, the website where you can request?
Oh, I forgot about that website.
Yep.
Yeah, they laid off a lot of their workers.
Good.
Sucks.
I don't mean that.
Sucks. Yeah. Thanks for the cameo.
Yeah, no problem. Happy Black History Month, everybody.
Nobody cares. It's over.
Oh, it is over.
Yeah, by the time I release this, it'll be over.
Wow.
It'll be all over.
Yeesh.
Yeah, we're not having fun, so.
Who video?
Totally not Mark.
What video is this?
His Broly review.
Oh.
Yeah, we're finally doing their Mark month because we missed last week.
Well,
Literally, by the grace of God, y'all need to thank sweet baby Jesus for knocking out our power. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Anyway, do you guys see his newest one?
Why would we?
His newest what? The kid who would win in the Boo Saga or whatever. I don't even. Is it a what if? What is he doing?
It's do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna watch that.
It's what was it? It was what if, and if they actually go with the actual bracket.
There's a bracket.
Yeah, there was a bracket.
Yeah,
they showed Krillin fought that big
black dude.
It was a big
black dude.
Indian stereotype.
It wasn't Indian?
No, I think it was an Arabic big ponytail.
Yeah, you know what?
Big puffy
I was
pants.
thinking another black dude, but yeah. And then Goten and Tron enter hey, we want to enter with the grown up too. Grrr.
That sounds horrible.
I don't hate Mark like you guys do. So
it was fine.
It was good video to sleep on.
There you go.
That was all I need. I I've been watching a lot of Naruto content, so I'm like, yeah, I need something to sleep on.
Why are you watching Naruto
I
content?
need something to sleep on.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
This is offensive.
Hey, come on. Dragon Ball offensive with the big lit black guys?
This is offensive.
And the actual legitimate Indians.
We need to finish this video.
Yeah, see you later. We spent a lot of time on this video. So,
Too much
cameo
time.
over. I'm sorry to shoo you off, but we want to get done with this.
Chris Sweet. Yeah,
No, stop with the hashtag Chris Sweet.
Hashtag Chris Sweet.
Stop with the Chris Sweet.
Yeah.
Nobody. I'm gonna just start deleting comments that say Chris Sweet.
You could just edit Chris out.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start banning you.
That's crazy.
Came at the perfect time. This Goku
Sorry, what came at the purpose time? What are you doing?
Oh, that's the broom.
Yeah. Or the dumbbell right under it.
The boss.
back foot, and thus this transition came at the perfect time. This Goku section is handled primarily by animator Ryo Onoshi, who was also the artist that animated the very first teaser released for Dragon Ball Super Broly, and demonstrates some really experimental animation that I really enjoyed. Where the Vegeta fight established all the regular things we've come to expect from the series in a fantastic fashion, Goku's fight introduces new takes on the franchise through its music selection, animation, and lore. The music up until this point of the film has been
What was the experimental thing that
He's explaining it now. The music, the animation,
But
the
that-
lore. How did this section do anything with the lore? We're about to see. We're about to see it all.
phenomenal. However, much of the battle tracks are something you will either love or hate. Sumitomo, the man responsible for the music of the film, felt inspired by the live event gatherings in Latin America during the final episodes of
It's their fault. It's all their fault. Man. I would like nothing more than to go down there and just flip that switch. Not harm anybody. Not like go up
Just
there and
ruin
just
their
like,
time
you
for a
guys
little bit."
suck. Just like, no, I just want to hear that disappointed. Oh, what? Just like, no, you guys don't get this. No.
and so wanted to add chanting and a hype man, for lack of a better term,
It is baby stuff. It is piping
truly-
in the
it is-
audience.
Go ahead.
It's Goldberg when nobody's chanting that just to get the audience to do so.
It is the Dora the Explorer of music. Where is Broly? Can we go to Broly?
It's when I will never forget the first time I heard that. I was just like, shut up. Oh no.
That is just the music itself.
the tracks in this section.
How are we clapping for Go-Go Broly?
I enjoyed the experimental nature of it, and if nothing else, it's most certainly memorable. From an animation
I enjoyed that it was experimental and memorable.
How did you feel about the thing that you were listening to, Mark?
If they made a composition of farts, it'd be experimental and memorable, but would it make a good
Doesn't
soundtrack?
speak to either the quality or how you felt about what it was, not the fact that it was experimental.
He enjoyed that it was experimental and
But did you enjoy the music itself?
perspective, we got to enjoy a
animation done with the music?
Moving on.
first-person tracking shot perspective, the likes of which
Superman!
Who cares?
I honestly never seen before in Dragon Ball. I thought it was a fun idea and worked well in this long fight to help break up the monotony of the action, but wasn't majorly impressed and could even see a lot of people missing this sequence if you weren't looking for it. The fight itself...
How could you miss it? It's big old Broly hands blasting.
At a certain point, it just becomes, you're just watching stuff.
Yeah,
It's just
you
like,
phase
oh,
out.
Look at that.
lasts about 12 minutes.
But that speaks more to the audience just glossing over the action, just their eyes glazing as they watch just more pretty.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's 40 minutes of just bam, 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 just machine gun rapid fire stuff. You get that small break when they fuse, but then other than that, it's just go, and it just becomes numb after a while. Spend 40 minutes eating nothing but ice cream. That 39th minute is not going to taste as good as the 3rd, 4th minute.
Total for Broly and Goku. It has some interesting new techniques and even has an explosive super...
Hey,
Where did that technique come from? Where is it now?
What is it? How did he do it?
Interesting new technique. Again, him farting an explosion would be interesting and new. Is it good?
He didn't explain what it was, what it did, why it's interesting. Simply that it exists and it's interesting. This is the problem with Mark, y'all.
Why do people want this? You know what? They want us not wanting this. If we just went, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Mark stuff, it'd be so different.
Saiyan Blue transformation in the middle of things. It does have a few moments of CGI here and there, but with the battle itself being almost 40 minutes long, I'm willing to forgive the little CGI that was involved. In fact, I'd even go as far...
Who cares about CGI if it looks good? Now the Frieza CGI was horrendous.
It looked like just the old PS3 Dragon Ball games, not like in DBFZ. No, it looked like, oh no, this is noticeable.
As to say that in many other aspects of the film, CGI was used to enhance sequences beyond what it would have been without it, through backgrounds, special effects, and filters. Amidst all of this action and explosion, Paragus, now injured from being too close, reveals to Frieza that Broly must be at his limit now. Fortunately, Frieza has the perfect contingency plan. Apart from it being a magnificent scene...
Thank goodness that becoming a Super Saiyan replenishes your energy such that you can go from near zero to beating 2 blues.
Of course, we saw what happened with Royal Blue Vegeta. That expanded all of his energy. Oh wait, no it didn't.
Enriching character for Frieza, it's also an...
I'm sorry, what?
Being a magnificent scene rich in character for Frieza, it's also an almost mirror image of how Paragus casually killed Beats in cold blood earlier in the film. Due to the sudden loss of his father, Broly, overcome with grief, begins to transform, during which there's an incredible shot of Frieza standing front and center, surrounded by flames and destruction, all of his own doing.
Why is that an incredible shot, Mark?
There's flames and destruction behind Frieza. Is there anything special going on in the shot?
Sure.
Something of interest also during this cut is that Broly blasts his father's body away, out of view, never to be seen again in the film. With the situation now...
Why is that interesting?
Because he did this for the love of his father.
I was just about to say that. He's casting away everything, the last thing that he loved and that loved him, and he's a mindless monster, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, but that can be said, and Mark just didn't. He just went, hey, look at this.
Dire than ever, Vegeta rejoins the fight in what is a surprisingly effective CGI sequence. Some terrific angles, backgrounds, choreography, and even angles we wouldn't normally see in traditional 2D animation. Overwhelming
angles. This is the new paneling.
What angles were they, Mark? Could you tell me what
he is so not good, dude.
And I don't understand. And I was about to say I don't understand why people like him, but I do, because he's inoffensive. He's just vanilla.
Like Chris said, he went to sleep to him.
It is just, this guy is just saying stuff. You put this on while you're playing a game, and you look up every now and again and just go, yeah, that was a good shot.
Enraged Saiyan, both Vegeta and Goku, in one of the funniest moments of the film, pawn Broly off on Frieza before making their way to Piccolo somewhere else on Earth using instant transmission. This scene is pretty much ripped straight out of Fusion Reborn, and honestly, after all Vegeta has been through in Super with Goku, this scene didn't make sense to me. Vegeta, for whatever reason, still has a problem fusing with Goku. He understands...
This character inconsistency. I understand that Mark is recognizing it, but it shouldn't be happening in the first place.
Mm-hmm. He understands that it's only 30 minutes, and he understands that he can't do it any other way. I just honestly can't understand this hang-up he has. He's just fought alongside Goku in the Tournament of Power, as well as 30 seconds ago.
But that's his own power, as opposed to a combination of his and Goku's abilities. It's not. It wouldn't be him beating Broly. It wouldn't be Goku and Vegeta or Vegeta and Goku beating Broly. It would be this new entity that is essentially not him. But that's just my interpretation of it, and it doesn't excuse how bad it is.
Before to save his friends in Battle of Gods. Why?
And he was super embarrassed about it.
Is this, of all things, an issue for him? Simply put, because it gives them a chance to make jokes and to create fake tension. There's really no other reason. I would
that is not a good. That is again that clunky storytelling that you were talking about. He's not excusing it, but he's just going, yes, this happens and we're moving on. No, why did this happen? Why did they feel the need to force this into the story? Why did we need this? It would show Vegeta's character growth if going like with the Patara where he was just like, give me the in ear, put the earring on, let's go.
Preferred if Vegeta showed the emotional maturity to bring the idea forth to Goku first. That would have been interesting and a first for the character. Needless to say, the two of them agreed to fuse eventually, but all these botched fusion attempts basically translates to Frieza getting pummeled for the bones of about an hour before they eventually arrive, as the newly fused Gogeta makes his cannon.
And he's fine with that. And that's just okay that
Frieza held him off for an hour.
Didn't die, didn't run away.
Didn't run out of gold.
Broly wasn't distracted at any point. Broly didn't run out of energy.
Debut in the film. Now, after almost 90 minutes of the movie, having seen some of the most spectacular animation we've ever seen from the series, one would think that we've already seen all the...
He's counting that ship?
Yeah, sure. It's all the animation.
This film can show us. However, nothing could be further from the truth. The remainder of this fight is packed.
Y'all don't even know how pretty this is. Let me tell you, the angles,
the animation,
the angles, and then there was like some spectacular angles that can only really be accomplished with the mixture of 2D and 3D. But when you combine that with the music,
and
it creates a truly spectacular experience, like none other, in my opinion.
Overall.
So just go ahead and skip like 2 minutes. I've just done it.
Bursting with not only the best animation Dragon Ball has ever seen, but some of the best action animation I've ever seen, period.
You've already said this. You've already said these exact words.
What makes it so pretty? Oh, it's fast moving. They're flying. There's
a lot of frames.
I would much rather have very good choreography than just a lot of fast movement.
I hated One Piece film Red's action.
I still feel hype about it because
I love the end part.
Yes, that's
the
great.
Fights in general.
Man, that is a compliment sandwich with that. Where it's just like the action is not very good, but it's so hype seeing all of them together doing stuff. But who are these people? Oh man, Lucky Roo. I don't know this man.
But that's the thing. You can separate your hype from it's just not good. Yeah. And just separate your hype.
Shida contributes around 1 minute and 40 seconds of pure movement to the beginning of this fight.
It moves so much.
Pure movement. Oh, look at him. He contributed pure movement, and it's moving with angles and camera and shut up.
And it's spectacular. But seeing as this is an honest review, I do have one small gripe. While everything looks fantastic and clean, the fact that Satoshi Shida is held in such high regard within the company he works for means that he gets to board his own section, which has one unfortunate side effect. He ends up repeating angles, techniques, and sequences almost exactly the same way over and over again. Multiple times during this sequence, I reckon...
If you don't notice it, because I didn't, you would have to be like, hey, wait a second, that was from Pretty Cure. It's one of those things where it's like, is it? It's an odd thing because I can understand the complaint, like ding 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 ding, Ice Baby versus Under Pressure. Like if you don't notice
Under Pressure,
is it really a thing? But if you do notice it, it is a big thing. But should he be
It's like hearing a song
lambasted?
you recognize the sample from.
Yeah,
Like it's like you didn't do a lot with that sample. You just added a drum kit to it.
it's like whatever. Sure, yes he did. Whatever.
The composition and ideas from earlier works in Super. I'm guessing this isn't something the regular viewer would even notice, but I did and I thought it worth mentioning. Regardless of this small...
He repeats some things sometimes. Do they still look very good? Absolutely. So what's the issue?
I wonder if
Steph
he would...
Curry just keeps hitting threes from that spot. Okay?
I wonder if he would prefer it to look 25% less good, but and less time on it. Like instead of a minute 30, it's like a minute, and it doesn't look as good, but it's all completely new stuff.
Couldn't tell you. I don't know who Mark is. I don't know what he wants.
Don't know who Mark is.
So
We're gonna be talking about that quite a lot with this.
And through all the year and a half, 2 years we've been doing this, where we watched so much of Mark stuff, I don't know what he wants.
Yeah, it's very odd when he just goes, I don't really care about that fight stuff in One Piece, but here he's just going the fight stuff. Cut that out. I will not be embarrassed.
Like, I still love this spectacular cut of animation from the incredible...
Spectacular.
Dude, it's
incredible.
It's never ending.
Mind-blowing. Jaw-dropping.
His lexicon for words of praise is so stunted. It's so limited.
And it's very odd because you would think as he's writing this, he would just go, Control F.
I've said spectacular a lot.
23 instances of spectacular, huh? That's a little too much.
Where's a thesaurus?
Maybe.
Let me look up. Let me Google. Where's my phone? Let me Google spectacular synonym. Synonym? 43. Amazing. Astonishing.
Astonishing is good.
Dazzling. Eye-catching.
Eye-catching works here.
Thrilling, wondrous, stunning, striking, sensational, remarkable, fabulous, grand, marvelous, staggering.
Spectacular? How about that? How about we just use spectacular again?
I guess we just use it again.
Again and again. I don't understand.
Yoshishida. Also within this section is the third and final CGI sequence, but honestly, it's the best one and suits the dimensional shift both characters undergo. It's honestly stunning. Something also...
Why is it good, Mark? Why is this one good?
Are we talking about the literal dimensional shift?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. What happened there?
Do you think he cares? Do you think he gave us...
He's shown that he cares at some points.
We don't know Mark.
Don't know Mark.
So we don't know what he cares about. This is fine. But the collar thing, may I digress for a second and be like, that's kind of stupid. But this, them punching each other into another dimension, that's fine.
To turn Super Saiyan Blue, Broly never lands a hit on him after. While this phenomenal fight is taking place, my last major problem with the film rears its head. Chi-Li's desire to save Broly by putting her life at risk. This leap from her, while I understand it, seems a little premature. She already paid Broly back for standing up.
But the pacing! Do you mean that it would have benefited from slowing down a bit so we got a little bit more with these people?
Yeah, that their interaction, that was the good part. That was the non-contrived part.
Up for her.
Is this just another thing that just needed to happen for the story? Like the collar, like the Dragon Balls and stuff? What's good about this movie if the reason why they're in this in the tundra is contrived, if the reason why Chili and Broly are making a connection is contrived, if the reason why she poofed him away is contrived,
if Broly being able to match them is unknowing.
what's good about this movie? Oh, the angles.
If he gives a number and or letter grade, what do you think the grade is going to be? I'm going to go 8.5, and I'm going to go a B+.
I'd go solid B.
Broly back for standing up for her after she stole the remote away from Paragus. And while I believe that her and Broly...
Hey, paying someone back and or being a good person are not mutually exclusive. I have paid you back, and so my
debt is secured.
So I'm out of here.
I would not like this person to die, and there was a way that I could save his life.
Broly have a fondness for one another that is believable. I find Chili's particular decision here kind of unbelievable. This is a narrative...
If you make a connection with somebody and you have the capability to help them and or save their life, would you do it?
Thread that I thought could have greatly benefited from having more time exploring it. The film did...
But the pacing,
what
though.
could they do with... What more could they do with this to make it more
Let
believable?
them hang out for like 4 more minutes, I guess.
And then that's automatically more believable.
Yeah.
They shared food, water, shock collar, that the sexual harassment scene. What more could he want that would be like, okay, now?
Shade neath the willow tree.
Effort to build their relationship up in 3 separate scenes, and while I did love their Tarzan and Jane dynamic, they still...
It is literally Tarzan.
...only knew each other for a few hours. The remaining moments of...
Okay, and
So
she
did you want
connected
months,
with them.
a year? What more could be done? Don't just be like, it's unbelievable. Explain what could be done, what could be changed in order to make it believable.
I mean, how many stories have we seen where people put their lives at risk for someone they've known for like 30 minutes, an hour? Naruto knew Gaara for 2 days and had like 3 conversations with the guy.
the fight are again filled with some of the most spectacular animation of...
Well, oh my god, dude!
It's spectacular though.
This guy sucks.
Did you? I didn't realize it was pretty spectacular.
I don't know Mark as a human, but as a content creator, as a script writer, as a man that puts voice to product, he sucks.
He's not great.
Dragon Ball, full of amazing choreography, callbacks to prior films, and character-rich moments.
Look, it's the Stardust Breaker. What does that do? Whatever. It's just he throws it. It's like
We recognize it. Trunks is doing the final Flash and Masenko. That's a clap. When and where would he have learned these items and moves? What is the difference of them?
Maybe he just, absent of Vegeta, developed that technique on his own.
Sure. Where's his own technique?
The burning attack.
Did he even use it against Black? Did he even use it in that arc?
I am 100% sure he did, because you got to call back to the things that we did before, baby.
Are made even more tense with the use of the Dragon Balls, causing the world to be shrouded in darkness. As Gogeta charges his final Kamehameha, Broly looks genuinely scared, like he's suddenly come out of a trance he's been in, and I sincerely really liked that inclusion. The wish is made to transport Broly back to home, all is back to normal once again, and the fight is over. And so, now that everything has been said and done, these are my final thoughts. This film really isn't perfect, and as I pointed out, has its shortcomings narratively.
What is a perfect film? Because people get super pedantic about 10, because 10 means perfect, which means no flaws. But there is truly, I mean truly nothing in this world that
I was
is
trying to think of a
absolutely-
joke answer, but I can't.
We got a minute and a half left. We're almost out of
He's
here.
murder to me.
It isn't a flawless film, and while the first half
That's what you mean by it's not perfect.
does a fantastic job delivering exposition for first-time viewers, the second half really takes off the training wheels, going full force with its lore and combat. So while I
What
think
lore?
What lore? With this callbacks.
What lore?
this is the most accessible Dragon Ball film to date, I still would assume that for most people
Why is it
unfamiliar
the
with
most
the series,
accessible?
prior knowledge of it is required to get a relatively mediocre level of enjoyment out of it when all is said and done. However, what did I think of it as a fan of the series? I've honestly never had more fun watching a film. To say that this movie takes you on a ride is an understatement of the highest order. The fan service, the characters, the
Pause.
story.
What if I want more than a ride? What if I want...
Then you're on the wrong media, baby. Dragon Ball's all about the ride, baby.
The ridiculous action sequences and set pieces. It's plain as day that the animators, musicians, artists, writers, and everyone
Angles.
involved were going all out with this film. It's taken the best elements from Dragon Ball Minus, Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan,
What
and
best?
Fusion Reborn to create a brand new story that is far superior than the sum of its parts.
What
It's
was
not
the best part of Fusion? Oh, it's just the character.
Yep.
a perfect film. And it has its
He's just said it's not a perfect film again.
But you know what it is?
of its parts.
It's
It's
a
not a perfect
spectacular
film.
film.
And it has its problems. But the exceptionally great parts of this movie far outweigh its drawbacks. And I highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to experience it for themselves. Thanks for watching.
this
I like that ending.
this very much reminds me of when we did the Team 4-star thing, where it's just like anybody that has even the smallest interest or no knowledge of Dragon Ball should watch it. And then the same things happen in the One Piece film. It's just like, yeah, it's just okay. It's just your fandom making you so hype for this thing that you're not recognizing that it is essentially a nothing.
No, but Mark already said that he's taking his nostalgia out of this. So that's this review is absent of nostalgia, even though he's talking about the callbacks and everything, and the fact that he brought up nostalgia when he was talking about the Ginyu Force rocking up and whatever. But that doesn't matter. He said it, and he meant it,
This is
and he did it.
This is a negative 10.
I don't feel like rating because they're all just gonna be around the same.
You know what? That's
goo
fair.
pile.
Mark month is an anomaly. Pseudo Mark month. is an
unless
anomaly.
it's something so egregious that
That
I
it-
need to bring it up.
Yeah, this was.
But this is just the cut and paste. Just slap it on, keep it moving.
I really don't like Mark
I don't.
as a creator.
I don't either. He's really not good at explaining himself.
Yeah.
And I would love for somebody to come into our chat and be like, what are you guys talking about? Quit pausing. Quit yelling. What are you, all this other stuff. And just go, Mark said the word angles like 8 times. What angle is he talking about when he, in the beginning where he said the angles were great and the facial
King Vegeta
expression?
in that.
What angle was he talking about? And as you're commenting, know that you're interpreting what angle he was talking about because
And-
he didn't explain it.
And as you're doing it, you have to understand that you're explaining more than Mark ever did.
You have to realize that. There is no winning if you come to our comments trying to defend Mark outside of just going,
I like him.
I like him. He's not trying to do anything amazing. He's just
Spectacular.
giving his spectacular. He's just giving his thoughts. It's like he could be more structured
Yes.
in his thoughts.
He could be more expressive in the things he says. Like he needs to understand what he means when he says spectacular angle. He has to know that the audience does not necessarily know what he's talking about. So he has to showcase that audibly since he doesn't edit his own footage.
Yes.
And he just is reticent to do that.
He is trying to explain why this is good by simply saying that it's good.
And that's not good enough.
And that's not good enough. Again, there's so many ways that it can be done. My whole plan, once I start up this little video that I'm doing, is to sit down and just talk into a mic and just go, here are all my thoughts, here's everything, and then take that and structure it. Take like, okay, I can strengthen out this point. This point doesn't really need to be here. It's just this dumb thing. That's my whole thing. That's what I'm going to do. And I've thought about it as I'm reading. Like, I can say this and this and this about this. And just going, I can flesh this out so much. Just taking that. Because I know if I just write it down, I'll be reading it and I'll just get bored and I'll just be like, it's fine. But if I say it, I can be like, I can listen and be like, this is the place where I want to go. Then type it out and just go flesh out all of this little 5-minute segment to as much as I possibly can without just saying angles or paneling or the music
Or spectacular.
It shouldn't be difficult if I'm thinking of this having not made a structured video yet. Just going, I need to explain myself as much as possible. When Mark can just get away with going spectacular 50 times, with just going, this is good.
The callbacks.
The faded battles and all this crap. It shouldn't be like this.
20 minutes.
What did he say? He said that the positives far outweigh the negatives, but he mentioned so many negatives, and his positive, he mentioned why the negatives were bad, but his positives were just like, yo, but look at it.
It's so streamlined.
Naoto Shishida.
Yeah, so next we're doing a stream. So this is going up tomorrow. I'm gonna...
It's the first of the month.
Wake up, get up. No more Mark month.
Grand opening, grand closing. Y'all, we couldn't do it. So this is just the one Mark video. Sorry. We couldn't do it.
Do we put it out to the people after this is up, once they know Mark month is going, for them to like vote on whatever the 2 stream videos are going to be? Or do we just pick what we're going to pick? Because it's we want to do, since we don't want to do this anyway.
I think that we wait until the second week to let them pick. Because it's like,
okay,
we're giving y'all the
last
Mark
stream
month.
should be them.
We're giving you Mark month. Let us at least pick what we want to do.
Yeah. Double pain.
Because this is rough.
And it's not going to get any better.
No, it's not.
See y'all. We will.
I said it at the same time, Jinx. Dang it, I wanted to just end it. But if you had not said it at the same time as I did, I could, because in my mind, I'm just like, I remember to say we will, so I'm just like, I would just say it, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to look at him. He's just going to end it, and then that'll be it. But you had to say it at the same time as me. You couldn't even give me that. And I'm not going to remember next time.
No, Mark is going to drain all memory from you. It's going to be an hour and 40 minutes into the recording. You're going to go, where am I?
Well, we'll just blank it, just poof into existence like, I'm aware of myself, like you can't just like I got fingers, wait a second, and then just like the world is, wait a second, and you just start thinking about stuff and you just pop into existence like
you're gonna touch your ear like, yes, how can I help you today? Oh wait, I'm not at work. Wait, Mark.
Like, yeah, teeth are weird. What did he say about Naruto?
Hey, what did I cook for dinner yesterday? Because I need to... 2 hours?
Where? And then you just listen back like, am I making good points? I don't remember.
Did I
talk? You're just shaking me every now and again. I'm just like, yeah, he just sucks, man. You know, I can't do this no more. It's like, man, DA, he was out this episode. Out to lunch, just go. So like, hey, I just blacked out for 2 hours. I don't know what happened. That's never happened. It just checked clean out.
Frame 1 just checked out. The second I hit play, it's just like
just go into power saver mode. Just all the essentials just gone. It's just pure function. He stopped talking. I feel like I should say something now. Yeah, man.
I don't even know what he said. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, spectacular. He didn't even say spectacular. Yeah, I know, man.
In your opinion, Mark?
Oh, this again? What do you mean, Mark? And this is, how much are we doing?
It's the pseudo-mark month. We're doing 2 weeks. We're doing 2 regular videos. We're doing 2 streams. That is
and
it.
out.
Yeah, no, we're not doing a full mark month.
No, I'm just saying. I didn't know exactly how much we're doing.
No, 4 videos. That's what these bastards get.
That's all they're going to get. And I know they're going to be like, all right, no, we'll sell it, saying no. And then it's just, then we're going to legitimately just have to start banning people. Because it's like, y'all aren't appreciative.
That you are truly not stopping to think about what we've given you.
And what you've gotten from this. You can't just be like, yo, I got an Xbox. This TV a little small, though.
It's not, I mean, it's 4K, but I could have 8K. It's not an OLED.
It's like, but
where's the HDR?
You asked for this, and you haven't even unwrapped it. And you looking into the future for the next.
Oh, dude. Lily Orchard.
Kiss my grits with that one. I'm putting my foot down.
We were talking about, Trigger's talking about part 4. We're like, that hard band might need to get lifted for that. Lily is not happening.
Because that's where I'm just like, I don't know how to defend myself against the ist comments. It's like, you're a racist. No, I'm not. You're sexist. No, I'm not. There's no conversation. It kind of just ends there.
Yeah.
But if somebody
ends
comes
at the accusation.
Yeah. It's like, how do I prove that I'm not? I've got a black friend. And I'm just checked out, like, just going with the basic arguments like, yeah, you're black. Oh, yeah, man, I know. It's crazy.
All women. All women what, DA?
We will, I guess. That's only the second one.